So I think, we strive in every edition of From Inquiry to Academic Writing to be relevant and timely. So the readings in our book really support students uh, investigating their own responses to the current moment and listening to experts who think about and talk about race as a social construction, for example, and the impact of that. So Augustin Fuentes' work on myth busting around race, or Hannah Nicole Jones' really important work on the 1619 Project and just inequalities and their impact on education, provide students wise, measured, insightful voices to respond to and to be in conversation with. But the book is really also fundamentally about skills and habits, and the materials in the rhetoric are easily used to invite students to think about we'll just take, the coronavirus spread right now. So, for example, students might really look at the visual literacy materials in our book and apply them in class and in their own research and papers to the COVID dashboard at their own university or in their own community. And we can think together about what numbers and graphs mean and how those are acts of persuasion. We've got materials on how to interview people effectively, and it would be really interesting for students to prepare and interview one another, to think about their pandemic experience, maybe to even preserve it for their family and friends, and to think about ethos, pathos, and logos as we talk about what's happening to us right now. How do we value our own experience? What does that mean in the context of other people's experience? What kind of evidence will help people understand the relevance of our experience to political moments or cultural moments? So, our hope in a composition class is never just, let's talk about writing. I think the great value of teaching composition, and the reason I love it so much, even though it's so difficult and it's so hard, as we all know as instructors, is that we really have the privilege of meeting students at the beginning of their university careers and inviting them to be part of a culture that we know really matters. It's filled with habits of being that are deeply humane, that value listening, that value complexity, that value inclusivity, all of the human traits, not just scholarly traits, but human traits that we need now, arguably more than ever. And our students are going to take those skills into all of their other courses. They're going to continue to apply those skills as they begin to think about themselves as professionals and graduate. They're going to use those skills as they talk with their friends and family. And that, to me, is just such an honor. We all have students who speak back to us about the impact that we have had on them. And I hope that instructors really listen, because the work that we're doing is difficult and we know that it really, really matters.